So, what is the tithi today?
Saptami.
Shravan Vad. When we say tithi, you have to say everything. Krishna Paksha. So, some people, for them it is Shravan, for some people it is Bhadrapad. Okay? Depending on the Amavasyanta calendar or Purnimanta calendar. Krishna Paksha and Rohini Nakshatra and Ashtami Tithi. The night when these things come together, that is the night of Ashtami. That is the night of Krishna Janma. As per the Smartas, it is today, and as per the Vaishnavas, it is tomorrow. So, this time the nakshatra is lasting for 2 nights. That's why both nights are Janmashtami. Why we should know all this? Because we go by English date. English date has no meaning. When was Bhagavan born? He was not born on some August, some date or something like that. He was born in Shravan Mas or Bhadrapad Mas in the Krishna Paksha, Ashtami, Rohini Nakshatra. When all these come together, that is the Janma of Bhagavan. Now, what is the precedence that is there? Why did Bhagavan take avatar? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So Bhagavan takes avatar when there is decline of dharma and when there is increase of adharma. Even in the Gita, Bhagavan says there is the dharma which gets declined, it doesn't get destroyed. Sakaleneha mahata, in time. Even if he says yogo nashta parantapa, it is not that it is destroyed, it is declined. So, when decline of dharma happens means what? When we don't live the values of life without compromise, we compromise very easily. When we don't have the vision of oneness, where we see more of divisions, and where the devotion for Bhagavan is overpowered by selfishness, by ego, that is adharma, that is dharma is declined. Our shraddha in dharma goes down. You will see how Bhagavan is born to whom and what is the dharma nishtha that they have. And adharma rises, selfishness, greed, insecurity, that rises. That we see happening even now. Then why is Bhagavan not taking avatar right now? See, the time when Bhagavan was born, when Bhagavan takes avatar is when dharmic people cannot follow their dharma. During Ram avatar, rishis were not able to do the yajnas properly. All these demons used to come and offer their whatever, the meat and the blood and many things on the yajna, and they would not allow them to do rituals. They cannot do dhyan. Hiranyakashipu, he used to destroy the temples, kill people who were chanting the name of Bhagavan Hari. Same thing this Kamsa was doing. Many others. So, as of now, are we able to practice or not? There are fools who keep saying that they want to destroy the Sanatana Dharma and all kinds of nonsense they talk. That they will keep talking. But people are still able to follow. So though we are in Kali Yuga, we are in the beginning of Kali Yuga. And so this is in Dwapar Yuga, where Bhagavan Krishna was born. It is said this Mother Earth went to Brahmaji and she said that there are so many rivers, mountains, hills, forests, many things which are there which I bear, which I uphold, and so many people, beings, everybody lives on me, but I don't feel the weight of it. What I feel the weight of is adharma and papa karma. When this adharma increases so much, I can't bear it. And so please relieve me of my agony. So Brahmaji, Shivji, Mother Earth, everybody went to Bhagwan Vishnu. And they prayed to Bhagwan. So it is said that Bhagwan told Brahmaji in Samadhi that I will be born very soon and I will relieve earth of all the pain. I am aware of her sorrows. So reassure her. And he told all the devatas and even the devis to take birth in Vrindavan. So they all get ready and they all take birth beforehand. And so even Veda mantras, it is said the gopis are the Veda mantras who have taken form. See, in the physical realm, we think Veda is a book. But Veda is not book. Vedas are mantras and Vedas are personified deities. So they live in personified forms in the Devaloka. So those Veda mantras, they come down and they become different gopis, gopas, great rishis, munis, sadhus, many of them come. And so it is said that the background is set. Now before Bhagwan is born, Sheshanag is also born. So it is said that Sheshanag told Bhagwan that look, in the previous Janma I was Lakshman and I was your younger brother and I didn't get any chance and you continuously kept dominating me. Now this Janma I want to be the elder brother. So Bhagwan said, so be it, you do. You take birth as my elder brother. See how compassionate Bhagwan is. Either way, Bhagwan is a leader only, whether he's younger brother or elder brother. Only in that as Balram, Bhagwan gave him more opportunities so he could tell more things to Bhagwan. But finally he did, as far as dharma is concerned, what Bhagwan told only he had to follow. Then Lakshmi Devi said that, I am in that incarnation as Sita, I suffered a lot and I was separated from you and I was in the forest for a long time. Now I don't want to go out of the palace only. So Bhagwan said, okay, Tathastu, you be Rukmini Devi and you be born there. So Bhagwan goes wherever to fight the wars and this and that, but Rukmini Devi doesn't go anywhere. She lives in the palace happily. So all that is, the background is set up. And then what happens? Vasudeva and Devaki. So King Shursen, in his lineage is this Ugrasen, and Ugrasen, his son is Kamsa. And in his Shursen's lineage only comes Vasudeva also. So this Vasudeva is married to Devaki. Kamsa and Vasudeva are very good friends. Devaki is a cousin sister of Kamsa. This Kamsa became very arrogant, very rude, very powerful, started ill-treating people, and he even captured his own father, put him in the jail. See, ego, one meaning of Kamsa is what? Violence. One who is very violent. And when there is ego, there will be violence. Ego lives like that. Ego will do violence against itself also and others also. That's why somebody said ego means what? Edging goodness out. That is called ego. Edging goodness out, edging God out. Both. So this Kamsa, he was doing atrocities, no doubt. But it seems that he had love for Devaki, his cousin sister. So he married Devaki to Vasudeva, and both of them he was taking in the chariot when one Akashvani happens. And that Akashvani, when it happens, what does it say? That what a fool you are taking this Devaki so happily, but her 8th child is going to kill you. So that is the Akashvani that happens. Now, when that Akashvani happens, you see, he says, "Oh fool, the ones whose chariot you are driving, their eighth child will be the cause of your death." Tulsidas ji says that Damini Damakarahana Ghana Mahi Khalakay Preeti Jatha Thir Nahi. How lightning strikes, no? It strikes for a moment, it disappears. It's not steady. He said that the love of people who are cunning, manipulative, is like the lightning. One moment he was so loving to her and taking her and going to drop her to Vasudev's house, and the next moment he is ready to take out his sword and he is wanting to kill her. So when Kamsa becomes ready to kill her, Vasudev immediately goes and he says, "Please don't do that." So he tries to first tell him intellectually. See, Vasudev means a subtle intellect. A steady, sharp, subtle intellect is Vasudev. So he gives him knowledge. He tells him that anything that is born has to die. The body itself means that which perishes. So what is born has to die. By killing her, you are not going to become immortal. And why do you want to do this? Understand that life is so temporary, you have loved her very much. So he doesn't understand intellectual stuff. So he says, emotionally he appeals, saying, "You have loved your sister so much and she is a woman, and if you kill her, you will get such a bad name that you are such a monster who kills women and such such people whom you love dearly, and you are going to kill her. So don't do that." Emotionally also it doesn't appeal to him. Now at that moment he has to immediately think what to do to save Devaki. Somebody says the logic will apply to Devaki also, that what is born has to die, so let Kamsa kill her. See, the death may come whichever way it has to come, nobody can prevent that. But what efforts one has to put, that one has to put that efforts to live. And there it is sin that he is going to do. Death coming on its own is a different thing, but killing a woman there, and also who is not who is not harming him in any way, that is a sin that he will incur. So he says that why do you want to do that? But it doesn't appeal to him. See, this is called the ego. Ego, when it is very strong, emotions also don't appeal, love does not appeal, buddhi also does not work properly, very disturbed that person is. And here it is what we call, in Yoga Shastra we call it asmita. Asmita means that fear of death. Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesh, Asmita and Ahankar. Asmita means that fear of death. One clings to life like anything, one doesn't want to die. That's not the only meaning of Asmita, by the way. Don't look at her saying she means fear of death. In Yoga Shastra it means that, as one of the Pancha Kleshas, okay. Asmi also means Aham Asmi, I am. The feeling of I am, which is Brahman. Now look at her. Okay. One who is established in that feeling of Aham, 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 I am, that is Asmita. Okay. Exactly opposite. One is absolute fear of death and other is complete immortality. This is Sanskrit language. That's why you should be very careful what word we use and how we pronounce and what intention we have behind it, the meaning. So this Asmita he had so strong. And Vasudeva has to think to save his wife. See what is true love there. You see in that situation, Vasudeva loved Devaki genuinely, so he is trying his best to save her life. This fellow is supposed to be more loving to her. He is the brother, but he is ready to kill her. Just at the perception of a threat, the real threat is not even there yet. It's a perception of a threat that her 8th child is going to kill him. Just a perception of a threat. So now, finally he says, okay, one more point. Understand that she is not going to kill you. You don't have a threat from her. It is her child who is going to kill you. So we will give all the children to you. Then Kamsa thinks, that is true. And why should I kill her and get a bad name? And people will remember me only like this, that he was a wicked person who killed a woman, innocent woman. So it's all right. So he spares them. They go and live in the palace. And when the first child is born, then Vasudev brings, see, the first child it is, any child it may be, but the first child especially very, very dear, and they are very happy on one hand the child is born, but very sad because they have to give it to Kamsa. This is called Dharmanishtha. Vasudev and Devaki, they could have rebelled, they could have gathered some force, they could have fought against Kamsa, they could have done conspiracy, they could have killed Kamsa, anything they could have done, no? But a steady intellect will be steadfast in dharma. And the intellect which is steadfast in dharma is the intellect which will be steady. Only that intellect can realize the truth. So he goes, very painful it is for him, but he gives the child. Kamsa is moved. Said this is the level of his dharma and his commitment that they brought the child. And Kamsa says that, I don't have any threat from this child. 8th child is what is going to create the difficulty. So you take this child. He is also not unreasonable. So he gives the child. Now Naradji comes there. Now many people think that what a person is Naradji, why did he have to do this? Naradji comes there and he puts lines. He draws 8 lines. And he says, now you count, if you count from the top, this is the first child and this is the 8th one is the last line. But you count from there that 8th one is the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From there you count it is 8, which is a problem. But from down if you count, that is the first one. So how do you know which child is the 8th one? So in this case, somebody may say, okay, then Kamsa should have killed the first one and the last one, spare in between one. So in another Purana it is said that Naradji drew a circle. He drew a circle with 8 lines and he said, now you find out which is the first 8th one now. Anyone from wherever you start, it will land up as the last one will be the 8th one. So which is the 8th one, we don't know. So now people say how wicked Naradji is. Kamsa was better. Naradji is terrible. Now he caused the death of all these children. But why did Naradji do this? He is supposed to be an Ananya Bhakta of Bhagwan. See, the point is, पाप का घड़ा भरना चाहिए. Point 1. Point 2, Naradji can tell him, but he followed, he is not using his buddhi. That nobody is seeing. Anybody tells anything, we will follow or what? That to Krishna Bhagavan also told Duryodhan not to fight the war. Did he listen? He didn't listen. And Krishna Bhagavan told Yudhishthir that you blow you tell Ashwathama hataha narahava kunjarahava. So he went and told. People will give suggestions. It is up to us how much we use our intellect and we follow. So Kamsa followed. Very interesting it is. Kamsa asks Naradji, so what should I do? Should I kill the child? Naradji applied his Vivek. Naradji said, I have told you what I had to tell you. Decision is yours. Because if Naradji says kill the child, then he will get the Balhatya dosh also. And he gets the instigation. He doesn't tell. He says, you do what you want to do. That Kamsa decides, now I have to kill. He calls for the 8th child. Now one more point to understand here is, Naradji, when he does all this, Bhagavan is born to kill this Kamsa, Kamsa will get Uddhar only because of that. It is not that Kamsa is going to get destroyed. If he dies a natural death, normal death, that he will suffer like anything. But even after doing all this Papa Karma, when Bhagwan kills him, it will be only his Sadgati that will happen. So Kamsa calls Vasudeva and Devaki. Now see, Vasudeva is steady intellect, sharp intellect, uncompromising in dharma. So the means of developing that steady intellect is uncompromisingly holding on to dharma. And Devaki is a pure mind which lives in devotion to Bhagwan. Bhagwan is born to these two. In the Upanishad it is said, Drishyate tu agraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshma darshibhihi. This pure consciousness is seen or experienced by those who have a subtle intellect, sharp intellect, pure mind. To them it will be experienced. Yame vaishavrinate tena labhya. One who chooses the Supreme exclusively, to that person the self will reveal itself. So that is Vasudeva and Devaki. Now they are put into a jail. Till now they were living in the palace. Now they are put into the jail, bound with all the chains, because now Kamsa thinks that what if they don't give the next children, because the child he has called now, the first child, and he kills. So now he is scared because he has killed the first child, these people may do anything, so he can't trust them. Now that is how ego works. When he was following values, he was happy, they were happy, it was a win-win situation. Now this mind has got insecure. Now he did adharma, he killed the first child. Now obviously he can't trust them. So he binds them, puts them in the jail. So one meaning of Kamsa is violence, other meaning of Kamsa is strong ego. Gurudev used to split that word as Kam Saha. Kam Saha meaning, who is he? So who is he meaning? Kamsa, the ego, is one who will question that who is God, which God, there is no God, I am the Supreme. That is called ego. It's very interesting. In Vedanta we learn this, but somehow it doesn't strike. When ego is there, God is not there. When God is there, ego will not be there. We try to balance both. How that is possible? Retaining the ego, we will realize the truth. How? Not possible. Ego has to dissolve, because there is no two actually. There is not rope and the snake. There is only rope. Don't say there is only snake. There is only rope. One. That is appearing as the snake. There is infinite consciousness appearing as the ego because of false identification. So that Jiva Bhav is very, very strong. When that Jiva Bhav is very strong, one wants to preserve, one doesn't want to let go, then one does adharma also for it. Vasudeva and Devaki, they are pure intellect, pure mind, steady and sharp intellect. A person may have steady and sharp intellect, a pure mind, but there are also possibilities because of past vasanas that these get captured. They are jailed. They are bound. When we know many things, so what captures them? Ego captures them. False identification captures them. We know many things. I am Brahman. Who does not know here? How many years we have been studying I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Still, is not our buddhi a captive of our ego? So many justifications we have, no? In Vedant class, I am Brahman, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jiva Brahmaiva Naparaha. But when we have Q&A session, Swamiji, we are Grahasthis. How do we live in detachment? Those are the questions that we will have. Why? Because our identity is still, I am a Grahasthi, I am not Brahman. In class only I am Brahman. In front of Rasgulla, I am not Brahman. So I am held captive by whom? By my own ego, by my own justifications, by my own past vasanas. So this Vasudeva and Devaki have been captured, put in the jail. 6 children of theirs are killed. See, there must be some backstory of all the 6 of them. From karmic standpoint, if you see that jivas will have some story, like the 6 children of Shantanu also. 7 children. 7 of them are drowned by Ganga Devi. The 8th one is supposed to be the one who has done some mistake. They are supposed to be Ashtavasus. So there will be some backstory definitely. Anything won't happen just like that. So these 6 of them, he kills. The 7th child which is born by the command of Bhagavan, what does Yogamaya do? Transfers the womb from Devaki to Rohini. So that's why one of the names of Balramji is Sankarshana. Why Sankarshana? Karshana means to pull. So from this womb to another womb, he was transferred. So he is called Sankarshana. That's the name of Balramji. Sheshanag he is. So he transferred to the womb of Rohini, and the news is spread that the 7th child of Devaki, there was a miscarriage. So she did not give birth. Now what happened? This 8th child has to be born. So when 8th child has to be born, see here, this Kamsa is very scared. Because 7 children are born, nothing happened to him till now. All of them are dead also. Only now the 8th child. So now there is no uncertainty. No, now it is certain. Because till then it was which of them could be the 8th child. Now all the 7 possibilities are gone. There is only one. Now he is thinking in his mind that what is happening, who will be this 8th child. Every moment he is living in fear. And every moment, see, he has already told, Naradji has already told him that Bhagavan is going to be born. There are people who have already been born, the Devatas and Devis and all of them in Vrindavan, and many arrangements are already made. So the 8th child is going to be destroying you, and that will be Bhagavan. So he knows that Vishnu Bhagavan is only coming to kill him. So by telling him all this, Naradji also ensured that he continuously thinks about Vishnu Bhagavan only. He is going on thinking, Arey, Bhagavan is going to be born to kill me, Bhagavan is going to be born. That fear of death made his mind single pointed in remembering Bhagavan. Don't say that, so let me become Kamsa. That I will also do such atrocities and then Bhagavan will be born. Not required. One police officer is enough to put you in jail. For that, Bhagavan does not have to be born. So we don't have to think, because some people derive that kind of a lesson. After the whole story is over, they will say, I think I should become Ravan, because then only Ram will be born to kill me. And there are enough people who justify Ravan was a great man, today's Kali Yuga. So there are Rama is presented from Ravan's standpoint. So he is living in fear every minute now. When Bhagavan is supposed to be born, Brahmaji comes to know that this is the time, and there is a beautiful shloka that Brahmaji sings before Bhagavan is born. Satyavratam satyaparam trisatyam satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye satyasya satyam vrita satya netram satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapannaha. Very, very nice shloka. So he says Satyavratam, one who is true to his vow. What is the vow of Bhagavan? Many vows he has given, but one of them is this: Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So, Satyavratam, he who keeps up his promise. Jiva does not keep up the promise. Ishvara keeps up his promise always. So, Satyavratam. Then, Satyaparam, he is the supreme truth. Trisatyam, in past, present and future, one who does not change, that changeless truth is Satyam. Satyasya Yonim, he is the very womb of all the good values, including the truth. Satyasya Yonim Nihitam cha Satye, and one who is inherent in the truth. So anybody who follows the truth will realize the truth. Somebody who is truthful in speech, truthful in conduct, truthful in thought, truthful in their commitments, they will realize the truth. Why? Because Satyam is not just a value. Bhagwan lives in that. He says Nihitam cha Satye. Satyasya Satyam. This relative world, there is a relative truth to this. This is called as Vyavaharika Satya. What is the Satya behind this? That is the Paramarthika Satya. Satyasya Satyam. Rita Satya Netram. Ritam and Satyam are the two eyes of Bhagwan. So what is the difference between Ritam and Satyam? Ritam is the intellectual conviction we have attained through the study of the scriptures. That when we apply in our daily life, that is called living the Satyam. Otherwise we are convinced of many things but we don't finally live. That's why in the Shanti mantra it comes Ritam vadishyami, Satyam vadishyami, Tanmam avatu, Tad bhaktaram avatu. So Ritam vadishyami, I will speak the truth as per the scriptures. And I will speak the truth in my life, having been convinced by the scriptures, and I will live according to that. So what I speak, I will keep up. I will speak as per the scriptural truth, and I will live up to what I speak. How many of us even speak as per the Shastra today? You think about it. We don't know only the Shastra. And we don't even go back to what our scriptures are saying. On this opinion, on this matter, what is the Shastra saying? One doesn't think whether it is marriage, whether it is property, whatever it is. What is the scripture saying? One has to think. So he says, Rita Satya Netram. Satyatmakam, the self of Bhagwan is Satya. Tvam Sharanam Prapadye. Tvam Sharanam Prapannaha. So we take refuge of you. So Brahmaji sings the stuti and he says that the one who hears, sings, remembers and contemplates on your attributes never again returns to samsara. So, O Lord, please manifest soon and remove our sorrows. So now is the time when Bhagwan has to be born. See, 9 months the womb, it is not that suddenly Bhagwan entered into the womb. So the child is growing in the womb. As a proper, regular biological process, the child is growing. All of us know at a certain month, whatever that 3rd month or so, the jiva enters the womb. But in this context, we find that the jiva has entered. It's not some other jiva which has entered there. It's Bhagwan only. But he does not manifest till the last minute and make it known to Vasudeva and Devaki. So he manifests and he tells to Vasudeva and Devaki. One very nice thing happens before that. So there's a dialogue which happens, where Kala is saying to Bhagwan that, "Oh Lord, everyone mocks me. They say you can never touch the Lord for he is beyond your 3 periods of past, present and future." And so they say that people have crushed my pride in every way. Please do something by which I regain a little of my glory, a semblance of my dignity. Because Bhagwan is imperishable and Kala is that which destroys everything. So Kala has gone and complained to Bhagwan. So now Bhagwan said that yes, I am beyond the 3 periods of time, but now I will come under your sway. In Ram avatar, I had manifested in the solar dynasty during the day. Now I will manifest in the lunar dynasty at night. Now the Lord is equal towards all and he demonstrates the impartiality. So Bhagavan does come, and when he comes under the sway of time, he will follow those rules. So Bhagavan's body is not eternal. It will be there till the Leela has to be done, and then body will drop. So he comes under that. In Ram avatar, what happened? He came on the, which tithi he came? Navami tithi. 9 is symbol of changeless Brahman. Every multiple of 9 will add to come back to 9. In Ram avatar, he is born in the day at 12 o'clock. He is born in the Shukla Paksha. Now he is born in the Krishna Paksha at night, and the tithi he chose is Ashtami. Why 8? So 8 is symbol of Prakriti. It is not symbol of infinity. Just because it is written like 8 does not mean it is infinity. It is, that is all English, Baba. How do we write in Sanskrit? We write like this, 8. 8 is symbol of Maya. So, changeless Brahman in Ram avatar, Maya in the Krishna avatar. But obviously he is Brahman, so he is the Lord of Maya. So as he says in the Gita, Prakritim Swamadhishthaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. I come by my will. He doesn't come because of past karmas. So in this 8th, on this 8th tithi, he manifests, and very beautiful descriptions are given of nature, how nature completely becomes very, very thrilled that the Lord is going to be born. So very nicely it is said here that the stars have aligned properly, and then there is unbound happiness in the air in all the direction. The sky is immaculate, the rivers flowed with clean and pure waters. The beauty of all the forests, gardens, villages, all places on the earth intensified. The water in the lakes becomes pure and clean. Lotuses come into full bloom. Soft fragrant breeze filled the air, night air. All this happens. At such a time, when the Rohini Nakshatra is there, Ashtami is the tithi, at night at 12 o'clock, Bhagavan is born. Bolo Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. So Bhagavan, before he is born, he manifests in the Chaturbhuj Roop and tells Vasudeva and Devaki that when I am born, you have to take me to Gokul. And they tell him, he tells them, there is a backstory of why Bhagavan is born to them. Do you know who are Vasudeva and Devaki in their previous life? No. They are not Shatarupa and Manu. Manu and Shatrupa, to him Bhagavan was already born. As what? Manu and Shatrupa only became Kaushalya and Dashrath Maharaj, and to them Bhagavan is born as Ram. So that one promise that he gave them, he will be born to them as a son, so that promise is fulfilled. This is something else. You don't know? Even I didn't know. Before I studied Bhagavatam. So now you see here, when he showed the form to both of them, Vasudeva and Devaki, he said beautifully, he said, "O mother, do you know why I have shown you this form of mine? Because in your earlier life, you were Prishni and Vasudeva was Sutapa. Prishni and Sutapa. You both had done penance to attain me. I had deluded both of you with my Maya, so that instead of asking for moksha, you asked to have me as your son. And this is not the first time, but the third time I have come as your son." See this backstory. The first time I came as Prishni Garbha, the son of Prishni. The second time I was Vamana, and this is the third time. So he says, third time. I have shown you this form to remind you of your earlier lives and my avatars in them. So Bhagavan, see this Vasudeva and Devaki, they are not ordinary people. They have done tapasya for such a long time. So if somebody says that why is Bhagavan not born today, where are the jivas who can give birth to Bhagavan? That jiva only is not there yet. So he says that you may love me like a son, but also contemplate on me as Brahman. This is very interesting. By doing so, you will both attain liberation. And he tells them, 11 years you do contemplation on me as Brahman, I will come back to you after 11 years. And that's how Gokul and all that, he is there for that much time. So when Bhagavan is born, then after saying all this, he becomes a small child. And there is a basket in which Vasudeva takes him. Now Vasudeva thinks that how will I take Bhagavan? I am bound, I am in a prison, there are guards. But he lifts Bhagavan, puts him on the head. As soon as he puts Bhagavan on his head, what happens? All the chains open up, guards go to sleep, the jail doors open. So if Bhagavan is born, what will happen? All bondage will go away. Na? So he takes the Lord across. Now when he has to take the Lord across, what happens? Yamuna ji is in floods. She is very happy that Are Bhagavan is born. First darshan that Bhagavan gave is to Yamuna ji. Yamuna ji also very thrilled. She is already in flood. And our culture does not say that, Vasudev ji went and stood there and Yamuna gave way and then in between was a dry path and he went away. Kuch nahi. Yamuna ji is in floods. He has to go in that floods. But he is not saying, Are Bhagavan, you do something, I can't go, I am very scared. Nothing. He is having Bhagavan in his tokri and Bhagavan said take. So Bhagavan will do what he has to do. Whoever has surrendered, whoever keeps Bhagavan above the head, our problem is our head is above Bhagavan. You keep Bhagavan on the head, Bhagavan is the supreme. And then we go. We have to enter the floods of life. There will be problems, water will increase. We may not know how to swim also. And Vasudeva didn't go swimming. He has to go walking. Now Bhagavan is on his head. And water is rising. You should listen to Gurudev's talk on this, Krishna avatar. So he says water is rising and it comes up to his chest. Vasudeva doesn't doubt. It comes up to his neck. He still doesn't doubt. It comes up to his mouth. He is not doubting Bhagavan. It has come up to the lips and covered his lips. He is not desperate saying, Bhagavan, will you do something? Kuch to karo. I am going to drown now. I can't breathe. Nothing. He is happily chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and he is going. Then what does Bhagavan do? He puts his foot out. And that foot when he puts out, it is so small, it will come up to here. And so Yamuna ji will touch the foot and she can't do anything beyond that. If she touches more, is a small boy, Bhagavan will get pneumonia. So she will only touch a little bit and go down. And slowly it recedes. All that is written in Bhagavad. I am not saying pneumonia is not written, but the other things are written there that she touches the feet of Bhagavan and then she slowly recedes and Bhagavan is taken. And he is left there. Now he is left where? In the house of Yashoda and Nanda Baba. You know that entire village has been praying that Nanda Baba should have a child. Rohini got a child. Balramji was born. But Nanda Baba did not have a child. So everybody went to Shandilya Rishi and Shandilya Rishi told them, you do Ekadashi Vrat. And you should listen to read what is written in Bhagavad about Ekadashi Vrat. Ekadashi Vrat, if you eat sabudana and all that, the Vrat ka phal you will not get. That is written there very clearly. Now if somebody has health issue, then you eat, that's okay. Ekadashi Vrat is supposed to be no food. Maximum, if at all, some little fruit, that's all. You are not supposed to sleep on Ekadashi, do you know that? You can't sleep on Ekadashi. हम तो साबूदाना खीर पायसम सब खा के अच्छे से खर्राटे मार के सो जाते, फिर बोलेंगे एकादशी किया हमने, काय का एकादशी किया, सो गए ना, कुछ फल नहीं मिलेगा, खत्म हो गया तुम्हारा. It starts on 10th night, finishes on 12th morning. And it is done to worship Bhagwan Vishnu, because the 12th is the Dwadashi, the Harivasar. One has to prepare oneself to worship Bhagwan on the 12th Tithi. So Ekadashi is the Vrat where maximum remembrance of Bhagwan has to happen. Best is to drink water only and remember Bhagwan. Prana will go upwards. The purpose of upvas is that the prana will move upwards. When we eat food, it goes down. Apana vayu and all will go down. So the entire village was doing this vrat. Somebody is doing every day, somebody is doing one day, somebody is doing Ekadashi vrat, and all this they are doing. And he is taken to Yashoda's house. Who is Yashoda? One who delights in making everybody glorious. Yashah dadati iti Yashoda. Who does not want yash for herself, she gives yash to. How many people are there in the world like that? That requires purity of mind. People want yash for themselves only. They will do anything. Yena kena prakarena prasiddha purusho bhavet. A very beautiful subhashita. Ghatam bhindyat patam chindyat kuryad rasavarohanam yena kena prakarena prasiddha purusho bhavet. Break a pot, tear your cloth, do anything and become famous. People are doing now fata work, jeans they are wearing and going. They are supposed to be style. Anything to become famous. She is the one who will give fame to everybody. She does not want any fame. And who is Nanda Baba? Who delights in making others happy. In whose presence everybody becomes happy. That is Nanda Baba. So to them, Bhagwan is taken. Vasudev keeps the Lord there. And Nanda Baba, at that time when he kept, everybody was asleep. One girl child was born to Yashoda. That child is taken by Vasudevji and he comes back. Who is that child? That is Maya. When he had Bhagwan, all the chains got loose. When he brought Maya, all chains came back. But that is Bhagwan's will anyway. So he got the Maya and he brought, and then she cried. Everybody got up and the news spread to Kamsa that Arey, this child is born, and he comes and sees. Now what does he see there? This girl child. Kamsa undermined the power of a woman that time. He said, girl, after all, what will she do to me? He tried to catch her. He could not even catch. Who will grasp Maya? See, other children though he caught and smashed, and very sad, he killed them in front of the parents. But this girl, he could not even catch the girl's feet. She slipped. She is Yoga Maya. But she gave him darshan. Ashtabhuja Roop, Durga Devi, she gave darshan to this Kamsa and told Kamsa that your destroyer is already there in Gokul, and you think that you will escape. None of this will happen. Your death is sure. And so that Maya then disappeared. So this is beautiful symbolism. As far as Vedanta is concerned, who is Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Self in our own heart. If our mind becomes Vasudeva and Devaki, and we become Yashoda and Nanda, if these four qualities come into us, then definitely Bhagwan will be born in our heart. Our heart is also like a prison only. Dark it is inside. In a prison it is dark. Our heart is also dark. But how did Vasudeva and Devaki live there? They didn't live victimizing themselves. Did they ever cry upon their fate? Did they ever say that, Arey, we were such great people living out in the palaces and now we are suffering here. What a terrible fate we have. Nothing. Accepted it all as prasada Bhagwan, remembered the Lord all the time. So no matter what our situation in life may be, if we continue to remember Bhagwan, our mind will be purified. And Bhagwan is Satyavrata. He will keep up his promise. If we take his refuge, where he says, Mamekam Sharanam Raja, Aham Tva Sarva Papebhya Moksha Ishyami Ma Shuchaha. He will definitely remove all the sins, agitations, purify our mind. Actually, Bhagavan does everything. Only we have to be available. All these festivals are to continuously recommit ourselves and make ourselves available to Bhagavan. Bolo Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki.
Swamiji, one question. Who was Rohini?
Rohini is Vasudev's another wife. Both are Vasudev's wives only. But she was sent much before by Vasudev ji to go and stay in Braj. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.